Hey babes, if you are someone who struggles during your period, not just physically, but emotionally as well, if you have a negative association with your period or a negative relationship with your period, this video is for you. Welcome back. I'm Shantae, and I share wellness strategies and tips that I have used to not just have better periods, but stop fibroid symptoms, have better hormone health, and just feel better overall. In this video, I'm sharing some ways that I've been able to have better periods, have less period pain, and really just experience more joy and be at peace during my period. A little bit of backstory on me. If you are new here or if you follow me on Instagram, you may already know some of this. But I have struggled with painful periods for years, or I should say, I used to struggle with painful periods for years, probably all of my 20s. Yeah, the majority of my 20s I spent dealing with period issues, from severe cramps, like debilitating cramps, to heavy bleeding, to nausea, just all kinds of painful symptoms. And I say during my 20s, but probably even going all the way back to my teens when I first started my period. So ultimately, I grew up having a negative view or association of my period. Now, the reason that I started this channel and my other platforms like my blog and Instagram is because ultimately I was able to stop the all of these symptoms. Oh, and by the way, like in addition to my painful periods, I was diagnosed with fibroids in my late 20s when I was pregnant with my son. And so ultimately, I've been able to turn that all around. And so that is why I share these tips, because I want to empower other women to be able to do the same thing. And also, I do want to be able to change the narrative or the conversation that we are having around our periods from negative to positive. Now, that was just a quick summary of the short version of my journey. Now, if any part of that resonates with you, just make sure that you are subscribed, because I will be sharing more of my journey and my story here on this channel. Now, the first thing that you will need to do to have better periods is to nourish your body in advance. A lot of people wait until they are having painful periods and period symptoms to try to, do something about it, right? But really, the care starts before. So you're going to want to eat nutrient dense foods. You're going to want to move your body. You're going to want to work on stress management before your period ever even starts, so that by the time your period starts, your body has had enough time to get that inflammation down so that you can feel better. Because in order to have better emotional health during your period or better mental health during your period, you will need to have better physical health. The next thing that I like to do is I respect my energy levels. So during this time, you might be feeling low energy. A lot of women experience lower energy during their periods, and that is okay. There is nothing wrong with that. But you want to respect that. And now, this is not the time to, try to set big goals or try to work towards big goals, in a way that is stressful for you or requires a lot of energy for you. Like, now is really not the time to do that. You want to respect where your body is during that time. So instead of focusing on a long list of to-dos, now during this time, we just want to focus on our must-dos. This is the time to release yourself from as many expectations as possible, whether those are expectations from other people or expectations that you've put on yourself. The next thing that I like to do to spark joy during my period is to focus in on that self care and self maintenance. And so during this time, since I try to clear my schedule as much as possible, like during this time, of course, I want to get more rest. But also, I'm doing more just like self care and maintenance things like deep conditioning my hair, tinting my brows, soaking my feet, just things that you might not, focus on a lot during the rest of the month, and things that extra self care that you've been wanting to do. Like now is a great time to do it. And what I found is that by doing that, I've created a relationship or even this connection to where I look at my period as like, okay, this is where I'm going to have more downtime to do these things, to care for myself more. And so by doing that, I'm able to create a more positive association with my period or menstrual cycle. My last tip is to lean into journaling. Now, I'm not a new journaler, but it's something that I'm working on building the habit of doing because it's just been really hard for me to get into. But recently, what I have found is that it is super helpful to journal during your period. So, in my experience, your period is a lot of the time where you're probably going more inward. So you're probably in your head a lot more. You probably have a lot of thoughts. And whether those thoughts are positive or negative, sometimes you can find yourself, or at least in my experience, this is the time where I find myself in more of those loops. Like I have a lot of thoughts that loop. And so journaling is a good way for me to just get those things out, evaluate those things, and just really examine some of the thoughts I have. And it's also a great way to notice if certain things are coming up for you every single month during your period, then in my opinion, that is something that you should explore more and work through. Because if you are having the same thing come up for you, it might just be your, body trying to let you know that something needs your attention. And side note, if you guys have any journals that you like with good journaling prompts, please drop those in the comments because I've been looking for some good journals with prompts in them. Now, if you are someone who is struggling with painful periods, or you just have a negative outlook on your period, I'm going to put my link below for wellness strategies, and you can schedule a call with me. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like it and share it with someone else. And also make sure you're subscribed because I do videos like this all the time. And here are some more videos that you might find helpful as well.